Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, hello, friends. Welcome back.
How are you all doing?
I hope you're doing great. I was waiting for people to respond, but that's not how this works. How's it going, Brandon?
It's going.
How is it? You're very tan.
I was outside all day editing
you've been
TikToks.
spending a lot of time outside. You're enjoying every moment of that sunlight.
It was just lovely. This is the first sunny day off I've had, full sunny day since February.
Yeah, you were out there all day. You Snapchatted me, and then you Snapchatted me hours later, and you were still in the same spot.
I don't think I realized how long I was out there.
And I was like, Brandon's gonna burn up out there, so you are looking a little red. Maybe got a little toasty.
Well, my newly shaved legs apparently had never actually seen the sun.
Yeah, they were like, oh my god, this is a lot. Having super burnt legs, I've had a sunburn on my legs and on my back legs, it's really inconvenient. It hurts.
I've never really, I've had I guess the back of my legs sometimes where the hair's rubbed off, but I've never had a front burn because it's always just so hairy. But I also never got tan. I was like, how do people get tan legs? It's because of the hair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you were laying out there lounging all day, so.
But
yeah.
I did edit 12 videos. Can you believe that?
That's a lot.
Do you know how long?
I've never edited. You think I'm an editing master? I've never edited 12 videos. I would not have the capacity. I barely have the capacity to edit 2 in a row.
Well, I will say I did edit them. They just didn't have. So I did all the voiceover work, all the captions, all the text, all the music.
Almost like a conveyor belt type of
Yeah.
thing. You're I'm going to do all of this part of it and then all this part of it. Yeah.
It worked somehow. I don't know how, but.
Amazing. And then you actually were without power for a little bit, so.
Oh, yeah. I had to hold my last day off. I had 0 power.
Spent all day at Starbucks getting their Wi-Fi.
Which I probably should have done again today because my phone needs to be ready for the cloud before I leave for Paris in 3 days. Ugh.
3 days?
Thursday. Oh, speaking of, this is me asking you, what are you doing Thursday at 12:30 p.m. in the afternoon?
Noon?
Yeah.
Why, you need to drive to the airport?
Yeah, I asked Sam and she said yes, but then she realized she had a meeting. So I'm asking you live on air. It's under pressure.
I probably can't. I do have a plant consultation, I think, at 1:30, but I think
You can bring us earlier, too.
Oh
my mom just wants to be there by 1.
Oh, I get to chauffeur you and Lisa?
Yeah, I get to meet Lisa. Wait, have you met Lisa?
I think so.
I don't know if you have.
It'd be weird if I haven't, because I know her face very well.
I don't think you have. I think you've just met Brenna's mom.
I've met Brenna's mom, but not your mom. Brenna is Brandon's roommate / landlord, for all of you who are what are you talking about? Well, anyways, we'll skip past the banter. That's probably enough. What are we talking about today?
Today we've got a spicy episode. We just keep getting spicier.
Oh, yeah. We're let's just keep doing it. Who
let's keep pushing the envelope.
Yeah. It's not that bad.
Pushing the petiole.
We're doing some plant confessions, little house plant hot takes, all that fun stuff.
And guess what? You guys submitted all of yours. So once we go through ours, then we're going to read yours.
And if you're what are you talking about? How do I submit? Make sure you're following our Instagram. Go follow our Instagram at Where Are We Growing? And we ask questions on our story. So if you want to participate in stuff, go make sure you're following us over there.
Yeah, we want to make this podcast as interactive as possible without actually being interactive.
Yeah, we're not going to have people calling in. That'd be a little bit too much.
Maybe someday when we get picked up by a big podcast network and have our own studio. But right now, it's not in the budget.
Not happening. Well, yeah, so we have a lot of your guys' confessions and your hot takes and all that stuff. And then we have a list of ours. So I don't know. What should we start with? Do you think you should go first or I should go first? What are we doing?
So,
should we switch between them?
Yeah, let's do you do one and then I do one.
Okay. Let me pull mine up.
Well, I have one more than you do, so I'll go first.
Okay.
Because I had one as of a couple hours ago because I was mentally writing them down, but not actually writing them down.
I'm trying to get Brandon into the notes life, but he's just oh no, they're all up in my brain. And I'm that's not the same thing.
Except my brain is an endless pit that they just disappear into.
Yeah.
So I have mine separated into hot takes, which are thoughts that I have, and then I have confessions, which are things that I do.
Alrighty.
So
yes.
I have more hot takes, so I will start there. So my first one is, I do not like buying from online plant shops, even though I own one.
Oh, that's a good spicy one. Wow. Okay. That was a good starter. Now, just so you guys know, we haven't heard each other, so we wanted this to be kind of,
Yeah, we kept it completely secret.
Yeah. So I'm like, we might agree with each other on some of these, obviously, but I don't know what Brandon's going to be saying. But wow. Walk us through that.
So I think part of it is a control issue. Like, I don't know what to expect from someone else.
Yeah, you want to be able to kind of pick out your plant, and sometimes, I mean, I guess it's one thing if there's Facebook sellers that are like, hey, I'm selling this one specific plant. That has its own risks, but also like buying from a shop that's like grower's choice, you also don't know what to expect with that. And
then B, I know the game, so it's hard for me to pay their prices.
Yeah, you're like, I can get a better deal on that.
Yeah.
Plus,
so
since getting into trading, I'm sure it's also changed up. Like, well, I can just like, I know other people who have that plant, so whatever.
Yeah. So I've bought from a couple. I'd rather import. It's like I'd rather pay so much less and take a risk. I don't know. It's just hard for me to.
I feel
commit.
Very interesting. I like that. My first one, I don't have these in any particular order, but just stuff that I hate to admit or stuff that I don't really talk about very much. But up until I moved into my house and I lived the apartment life, I would throw away all of my plant stuff, like dead plants, dead leaves, like old soil. I would just toss it in the garbage instead of actually composting it, which makes me feel really weird. I know a lot of people might be like, okay, whatever. But some people are serial composters, and what was he supposed to do?
Aldi has their octagon composters out as well as the greenhouses.
Fancy.
So you get one of those. I think composting is disgusting. I guess that's a hot take.
Now I just throw stuff outside.
Yeah, I just throw it in the yard, which is technically not composting, but
it's giving it back to the earth.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. I couldn't compost because it literally, it grosses me out. Like, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it.
Yeah, I don't ever do any official composting, but I just like, to me, if you have like a bin designated for just like dead stuff, like it's a compost bin. I mean, officially.
I feel like that garbage is like a halfway home compost because the dead plant's just sitting there so long. Actually, when I dumped it in the garbage can last time, it was disgusting because it was a little bit too long in there, so it was half composted. There were probably little wormies in there. Yum num, eating the leaves.
Do you want me to say the first?
Yeah, let's do that. That's smart. We do one of each and then a guest.
Yeah, so we have...
are we reading them? Well, I said they'd be anonymous.
Yeah, we're not going to say the names.
Oh, okay.
So if you guys want to like post on your story and be like, hey,
you can own up to it.
Yeah, you can own up to it. But we don't want to expose you if you don't want to be exposed. So I'm just going to pick the first one I see here. It says, I'm not buying a humidifier for my plants, ever. It's survival of the fittest up in here.
I mean, hey, no shame in that game.
No shame.
Humidifiers are fucking annoying.
They are annoying. And the only reason I even had them before is because my mom would just have them around for like when I was sick.
Oh, yeah, I was asthmatic, so we always had them.
I'm like, I'm like, people use them for their plants? What do you mean? I'm like, I just had one because of being ill. But I probably wouldn't have owned one otherwise, like, you know what I mean? Like moving out.
Yeah, I have never, for my asthma, owned one that would have been powerful enough for plants. It was like just a little bedside one that you kind of like breathe into and you're like
yeah. I just have the one humidifier that my mom got me. So yeah. What's your next one, Brandon? Hit us with it.
Let's pull it up. So now we'll do a confession. I don't clean my pots between plants at all.
I like this, for being honest.
0%. I've the only time I've ever cleaned a pot is if there's literal mold or like, that mildew that like, what are those little jumpy silver bugs? I always want to say springtails. I always want to say silverfish, which are just not at all the same thing. But that residue that attracts them grosses me out. I'll wash that off, but that's it. Actually, I'll more likely throw that pot away than wash it off.
Yeah, you did have a pretty bad experience with the springtails that one time.
Mm-hmm.
They were jumping all over you, and you're like, what the fuck is this?
I've had some really bad experiences with critters.
Yeah, it's not good. Actually, the other day, I saw someone posted on their story that they were walking dogs, they found a injured rabbit. And I was like, oh shit. So I lived nearby. So of course I was in my car with a carrying case, a blanket, and some gloves to pick up said wild rabbit.
You were ready to go.
And I was thinking about Brandon and how not long ago you had a loose squirrel in your car that you were rescuing. Which
that I picked up with a towel.
You hate squirrels. So the fact that you had one in your back, your back seat.
I wish I could have recorded it as it was like clutching for literally on my front steps, like arms out, reaching for me, like spazzing, drooling. I don't even know.
Foaming at the mouth.
It was horrifying. I felt so bad for it.
Oh my God.
Our producer's in the house. She almost didn't make it.
We're doing another bed chat.
Cece fell off the couch last night. It was so funny.
Fell out.
She like jumped up to see me, and then she went like there wasn't enough room for her to sit, so she sat off of the couch and went whoop.
I think a lot of people are going to agree with us. I'm sure other people are like, oh yeah, I mean, I didn't clean my pots either. They're probably like, whatever. That's a hot take. All right. Well, my next one, I mean, this is just kind of a little opinion. I absolutely hate that I have to use grower lights. I hate them so much. Like not just the aesthetic of them, but it's such a pain in the butt. I just wish my babies had sun. They want the sun. I just want windows. I don't want to have grower lights. I hate it.
I don't like grow lights either. I mean, I'm appreciative for them because my room is so dark. Like I think if I didn't, like, you know what my room looks like without the grow lights. Even with 3 lights, it's like pitch black in here. So I'm thankful that they give me illumination. They probably give me some vitamin D and some mental health, but I don't want to have them. I like them like in the cabinets, but that's about it. And specifically that one, the GE light, although I do like how it works, I don't like it in there, you know?
I didn't even know they made the panel light like that.
Yeah, that was
on your story. I was like, well, that's a GE light?
That was the first one I ever got.
It's crazy. I don't even own any panel lights. I mean, I own some of the strip stick-on ones, but nothing fancy like that.
I only got it because it was the only one they had at Lowe's when I got that red stuff. Or it was like the only light I could buy locally that would like fit that. And I didn't want to wait.
I'm stuck with this.
And well, then I ordered it off Amazon to get it cheaper and then returned the one I got from Amazon to Lowe's.
Amazing. Okay. I forget what I even said, but yeah, I'm going to read one from the responses.
Yeah, you hate grow lights. That's what you said.
Yeah, hate the grow lights. But, you know, we got to do what we got to do. What are we going to do without them? Alrighty, this next one from the Instagram says, fertilizing every time you water is amazing.
Okay, well, then I might as well just say my next confession. I fertilize every time I water.
Every single time you water.
Every single time. When I don't, it's usually because I'm in a rush, which when I water my plants, I'm usually not in a rush because I know when I'm going to water them.
Yeah, I've seen like you will have so many plants like dying from not needing water. And you're like, well, it's not watering time. I don't have time to water right now, so they're just going to have to hang on.
Yeah, I'm a water everything in one. I don't have time to do it every day. I can't
do that. Yeah, I'm like, and I water stuff every day. I don't have time to water everything all at once.
But I guess this is another hot take that kind of goes along with that I didn't write down. Mm-hmm. Just put a dish underneath. Even though, you know, I have all those gross clear ones. Who cares? It makes watering so easy. I have 300 plants. It takes me, I mean, if I include the time it takes to clean the fish tank, it takes 2 hours tops to water 300 plants.
Fun.
Where, like, if I was moving it to the sink and shit, no. And also, I spill so much soil into the sinks. And that one has a trash compactor, and that one, I feel like it's just going to clog.
I spill a lot of soil in my sink.
And Brenna owns this house. It's like if I was renting a house, I wouldn't give a shit. But
yeah, I don't give a shit. I just let it go down. I'm like, oops, whoops. Well, do you want to read another one of yours again? I mean, I just
read one. Yeah, so you go again. Reverse.
So I boast sometimes about being really thoughtful with my plant purchases and whatnot, but I have absolutely had Planty buyer's remorse.
Ooh.
Not enough to return it. Like, I'm not one of the psycho people that was like coming up for a reason to return the plant just because I was guilty.
I would never return a plant.
I keep it, but I've had that feeling like it shows up to my house and I still know I'm like, I shouldn't have bought this plant. Like it is less excitement and more like,
I also think that plays into part of why I don't like buying from plant shops. Cause I think the few times I have done that, actually you're right. I've only bought from online plant shops like 2 times, and both times I was like, ugh, I had spent too much money. I shouldn't have done that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. I need to put a lot of thought into it. Like there's a plant that I've been thinking about getting from Plant Proper, and it's only $40, but I've been sitting on it for like several months now. Like I try and put a lot more thought into my plants, and plus I don't even have a lot of room anymore. I have to put a lot of thought into like what I'm bringing in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that. I'm going to read one from the list again. I'm going to scroll all the way down. This person said, I don't like plant Instagrams that are too pretty.
Same, girl. Mm-hmm. Or boy. Or they. I don't know.
Same they. They're people. It's okay to say people.
Well,
have you seen some of those skits on TikTok where it's just like my family trying to use my they them pronouns, and they're like, hey themmy, like hey, like they won't say you, like hey they. Oh, people, it's not that hard. It's not that hard.
Okay, this is a hot take that's not related to plants.
Oh, no.
I say I've always, ever since I've known the word, considered guys a gender-neutral term. I've always used it in a gender-neutral way.
Yeah, I do. I always have too, and now I have to think about it a little bit more because I'm like, are you guys all set? Like, I feel like sometimes I got to think about not saying that all the time. I say y'all now, even though like
well,
y'all
I say y'all all the time,
but like y'all isn't really a Minnesota thing.
I get roasted for it.
I feel weird when I say it. By the way, Cece is like sprawled out all over the ground right now.
She is annoyed that we're not giving her attention.
Yeah, she's like, why are you guys talking to each other and not to me? Anyways, so I agree with you. Yep, and like we said in our last episode, people need to be more realistic about their plant journeys. So the plant Instagrams where it's just like picture perfect, like come on.
You couldn't be me.
I'm like, get out of here. I need to post with my new big crystallinum leaf because all of the other leaves are really fugly, but the new one is pretty.
Well, we all know that my new Instagram aesthetic is whore.
You Instagram whore.
I'm going to talk about it because no one. I know that my ex is not going to be listening to this, but we're going to get spicy.
Oh, we're doing more than Planty confessionals.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's just so funny because, okay, so you guys, if you follow me on Instagram, you know I have been a little bit more comfortable and open with my body on my Instagram, which is something.
It's just an occasional shirtless picture. I see so many of them from
they're
other
not,
people.
They're not that bad. They're PG. The one was unintentionally PG-13.
Because it was Naked Gardening Day.
But I wasn't actually naked. It just happened to look like I was naked. But anyway.
But apparently someone thinks it's a little bit too much.
My ex, who I haven't spoken to in 2 months, blew me up the other day.
And this is the ex that we've actually talked about on the podcast as being your boyfriend. Like you've talked about. You have referred to him as your boyfriend on this podcast.
Okay.
So if you are, you've listened to former episodes and you've heard Brandon talk about.
Or if you know me in real life.
Yeah, you've heard Brandon talk about this boyfriend. It's the ex now. So.
Anyway, he was like, you're being a whore on Instagram and we need to discuss this. And I'm like, I'm literally posing with plants.
I really actually want to see the messages because I want to see what he said.
Have I not shown you?
I know you like told me on Snapchat or whatever, but it is just hilarious for me to actually see the messages because the fact that you don't respond and there's just message after message from him is so pathetic. It's so embarrassing.
My Instagram is plants first, pecs second.
He hates it. And then, are we going to talk about the message that he sent to somebody?
Oh, yeah. And then he tried to set up a whole weird little love triangle. Oh, my God.
Yeah, he didn't like that this one dude was commenting on Brandon's pictures.
So we followed him to then try to seduce him, just to yell at him about being on my Instagram.
He was like, stop commenting on my ex's posts at, mind you, 10 a.m. in the morning.
10 a.m. in the morning.
Fully coherent. Not
I wasn't even coherent yet.
He's really thinking about you too much. God. Okay, so that was our funny confession. I like that. You said that people on the podcast, they talk the talk.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's funny because when people come to me and they're like, "Oh my god, I listen to the podcast," I'm like, "Oh, so you know everything."
Mm-hmm. Our deepest, darkest secrets, which I'm cool with.
I mean, yeah. If anyone's gonna know them, it should be the people that actually listen to us by choice.
They spend an hour a week listening to our voices on top of the other content we put out into the world.
That is a lot, y'all. That's a lot.
So we appreciate you. Thank you for putting up with our life stories as well as Planty adventures. Whose turn is that?
Just you. I feel like you haven't done one in a while. Just whatever.
Okay, so I think I did.
You have to keep me. We're sure crossing these off or deleting.
Oh,
them or
that's
something.
a good. I should have made it that. I should have done it in like, like the reminders where you can cross them off. Okay,
Yeah.
so my next hot take is, I think Facebook groups are more often toxic than not. And I do not like them at all, even the ones that are meant to be super positive.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this has to do with the type of people who typically use Facebook.
We're gonna go there.
I only use Facebook for these groups.
Yeah, I use them to look at plants and to possibly sell plants. Mainly, like if I were to leave the national groups, I would still want to be in the local ones. Those are really nice to see what's going on in the area, and people plan swaps in there and do little local purges. We're way more likely to buy from local purges, anyways. It's just easier for us to go pick up from people.
Yeah.
Plus, we live pretty close to a lot of planty people, so.
But I will say there's still a lot of toxicity in those groups.
Oh yeah.
My God.
I mean, for fuck's sake, we literally have a Twin Cities Houseplant Circle and then a Twin Cities Houseplant Circle anti-racist edition. So.
Oh no, and then there's one more that branched off.
Another?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Cease.
And there's a buy-sell trade group that branched off from that too.
It's just too much. The ones that they're like, no trading, selling, buying in this one, but you can go to this one. I'm like, okay, I can't be in that many groups. Let's just do it all together.
Which
okay?
I will say, the anti-racist one is the most supportive one I've ever been in.
Yeah.
I don't
really
nice.
Nice.
Almost every other Facebook of the local Facebook groups, I feel like before I press send, I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, I mean, no one's going to yell at you in that group, most likely. I feel you. Let me read one of mine. Cease is begging for attention.
She's really going for it.
Yeah, she wants it. This one. You might be thinking that this one's interesting. I think Anthurium warqueanums get uglier as they mature.
Oh.
I still like yours, how yours looks, but you know how people's get a little bit more mature and they start getting wider?
Mm-hmm.
I don't love that. I wish they would stay a little bit more
skinny.
narrow. I don't like how they start to look bulgy. And I also wish they stayed more full. I wish there was more leaves. Usually when people have a big bulgy one, it's all big bulgy leaves. And I'm like, I miss when they were more strappy.
Well, I mean, I've never had more than 2 leaves, so.
Anyways,
wait, when it first got delivered, it had 3.
Oh, yeah.
And 1 died right away. But I do have another one coming. We'll see what that one looks like.
I want us to get some seedlings of those.
That's why I got another, because I was like,
it would be nice to start one from a baby. And I feel like it would do a lot better, and it would feel like it would hang on to more leaves as acclimate to our area earlier on in life.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah,
Which also they might get delivered before I get back from Paris.
And I'm going to have to open these plants up?
Potentially. So I get back on the 28th, but they're in the U.S. on the 26th.
Oh my God.
So they could
I have to
be
handle
here
it import?
Yeah, so they could get, all you have to do is stick them in water. There's nothing, and pick off the dead roots. That's it.
And I have to clean Brandon's fish tank. This is going to be
which
a
I
whole
still
thing.
have to teach you how to do.
It's a lot.
Which it's actually not that bad. And I did make a very detailed video. So we'll see.
Amazingness. Let me read one from the Instagram. La 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 da. Taking cuttings without asking or talking about it isn't funny. Agreed.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. I mean, whenever I was like, I'm going to take one of your pings. I literally told you. I wouldn't just snatch one up and take it home. That's slimy.
Well, okay. Here's the levels. Home Depot, you find a piece of a succulent on the floor. You don't need to ask for permission. Just grab it, whatever. if you're ripping something off of a store, that is what.
Like ripping a leaf off of a plant in a store?
Like, have I been tempted? Yes. Have I ever done it? I took a spider plant. I took a spider plant baby once.
I think I took a cutting of a Colincho out of all things.
Ew.
Yeah. Literally.
A spider plant baby, whatever. That's like, you're just like, boop, you know. Mm-hmm. But that's like not good still. Yeah. It's still a crime. You could still get... They could, if they wanted to, in theory, prosecute you for stealing. Well, could they if it's
on the floor?
If it's under $500, I don't know the laws, but like at Ulta, and you've told me at like Target, like people,
yeah, they'll wait till it hits like 1,000 and then come get you. Apparently,
yeah. But I think like us, and like you, me, Sam. Mm-hmm. I think. Like when I just pulled out a scissors and snipped, although it is shocking.
Yeah, like she was annoyed.
Fine.
She was so annoyed, but not like genuinely where she was like, not genuinely enough for her to like private message me and be like, I'm actually so mad that Brandon did that. Like not that.
But then there's like that story where like, it was like that those Facebook or the Am I an Asshole where it was like I had my niece babysit my plants.
Exactly what you're talking about.
And I said when I got back we could take some cuttings, and they took cuttings of everything.
The fact that they like what I remember reading is like they took cuttings of these plants and had already sold them before the lady got back. That's fucked up. Yeah, that is very fucked up.
Because when I was reading that, because it was really long, the first half I was like, wow, this woman is an asshole. But then when it got to it, I was like I holy
know
shit.
That there was some people that are like, I can't believe you're not talking to them anymore. I'm like, dude, like it's not just like they took cuttings and they were like, oh, whatever, and then they died. You know what I mean? Like there's so much more malintent behind selling
it was like preemptive.
Yeah,
it was like
it wasn't like I want these plants.
It was like if you were like casing someone's mansion to like see where their wallets and Birkins are.
They knew how much they were worth. Some people are probably like, what are you fucking guys talking about? There's this Am I the Asshole Reddit thread where someone had their niece / I don't know, sister, whatever the hell, whoever the family member is, watching over their plants while they were gone, and they had said like, yeah, we can take some cuttings for you guys when I get back, whatever. And these family members were made aware of how uncommon some of these plants are, how much some of them are worth.
And what I think happened is that the niece must have been like, oh, like, hey, mom and dad, here's how much, like, here's what I found out about these plants. And then they had they concocted
they had the money signs. Yeah, I think it was the parents that really were like, oh my God, yeah, let's do this. Like, because like kids, like sometimes, I mean, I hate to be like, kids will be kids, but like.
She was like, what, 14 or something?
Yeah, it's like kids are dumb and I've done dumb things, but like my mom would stop me from doing dumb things.
That would have filled me with guilt, riddled with guilt.
Very not good, and I'd feel really like I wouldn't want them around my plants anymore after that. So I understand. Not the asshole. Cut your family off. Yeah, if they're gonna cut your plants, cut them off.
Amen, baby.
But yeah, like share your plants with your friends, like share your plants with people, but under your consent and under your control. All right, Brandon, hit us with it.
Okay, so I think I'm going to do a confession. No. I'm going to do a hot take.
Okay.
I think that, this you might disagree with me on this one. I don't know. We're going to see. I think that when people go live to do plant auctions, they are predatory and harm new hobbyists.
I agree. And here, like, you can take us through your thought process too, but I get why people do them because
they're money makers.
They almost always sell for more than market price. And quite often now when I'm watching these auctions, they're often starting them at market price. So it's like, and like, I don't know if you've watched me watch the auctions where I actually participate. I don't ever throw out bids until I'm the last one. Obviously, that's how it works. You're not going to be like bidding and making them go up. And honestly, I think, and this is just my hot take, I don't have this written down. I think that these sellers that are like live, they have friends going in and placing like fake bids to make the price go up, because I've seen people in there where I know damn well this person wouldn't be caught dead buying that plant because they have so many of them. Why do they need any more? And they threw out a bid. This is the type of person who, like me, would bid at the very end if they truly wanted it, but they were just throwing out bids in the middle to keep it going up higher. And I think that that's totally like fucked up. Yeah, I'm like, you guys are not fooling anybody. It's so stupid. Like,
okay.
Tell us what you're thinking.
So I was an eBay master by age 10. My mom was like an eBay buyer, mademoiselle. She knew how to buy from eBay. She had all the tricks. She had the bots to do the last minute bid, like everything. I even, when I was like 12 years old, bid on Neopet McDonald's toys, a set of them, and said, can you please accept cash? And then I blocked the user and sent cash in the mail to her house and blocked her email because I was very smart and technological. And then she did end up sending the Neopet toys.
Oh my God. So go on.
Anyway, so like eBay, I get. It's an online, it's anonymous. You don't, but like when you're in a group of 100 people and you see people you know and like friends and people who you're jealous of on Instagram, like bidding on these plants, that creates like mob mentality. And that's why these prices get so high.
So other people are like, oh, I want that.
And also, other side note, again, you know that I have a huge thing with unethical business practices, whether they're legal or not. And I think that is an extremely unethical way to make money. Just is what it is.
I feel like it's like probably a little bit different when it's auctioned on a website, because I feel like not as many people are watching that, and it's not like as exciting. Like, it's still annoying, and I don't like the reserve bid thing, but I think
the reserve bids, that should not be a thing. If you have a starting price, that should be the minimum you're willing to accept.
Exactly. And it's like, yeah, just if you have a reserve, just start it at your reserve. There's no point in watching us play this game.
And that's why they do a reserve. It's the whole thing to get the mob mentality, but they're like to get people bidding.
Very much annoying.
So anyway, any type of plant auction in general really pisses me off.
Let me see. Is it my turn to read one from the Instagram? Or no, you just read one.
No, you go. Yeah, it's yours.
Okay, let me see here. Okay, here's a good one. I think you might agree with me. Some people might agree with me. I don't know. Sometimes I want to get rid of all of my uncommon plants and fill my entire house with just big, basic plants. I'm really sick of like the tiny little plants all over my shelf. Like, it's just not cute to look at. It's stressful. It doesn't bring me a whole lot of joy as much as when I look at my big pothos or my big hanging philodendrons. Like, those are really exciting. Or when I see someone's big fiddly fig, like, it's just exciting to see big plants. And I think it makes the space look a lot more aesthetically pleasing than like having my entire cabinet filled up with little plants next to each other. Like, it's just not fun to look at. And I don't want to take a picture of that and post it and be like, oh my God, look how cute my shelf looks. Like, it's a mess.
So I half agree. I love huge plants. I just know that for the most part, they are not in my current living situation possible unless I have grow lights literally on every wall.
Yeah, I don't have the space
Clifford guards, you know?
Yeah.
So but my hot take is I only like, so like my big magnificum. Look at that thing. That thing turns me on. That I am sexually attracted to that plant.
My new like crystallina leaf that I don't shut up about. There's just something about like,
oh my God,
it's insane.
And then I like mini plants, medium-sized plants when they're like not big, not small. I don't want them. Get rid of them.
The only thing keeping them there is the potential of how they could look.
Yeah. And also it pisses me off that goddamn gloriosum will not grow big. Like, I see people with these giant gloriosums, and I'm like, why do spider mites have to be the bane of my goddamn existence? I'm about to pay $300 for this systemic spider mite.
I was like, I might just give you one of my big ones because I forget to water mine, and it takes up too much room. So if you want a big one, I have like 3-leaf big leafer. So
okay. Do you remember when I got that one? That was before I moved here.
Oh wow!
I mean, I've cut it a couple of times, but
yeah, that's rude of it. But yeah, anyways, like I still like the look of like a big jungle, but I just want it to be full of like big bushy plants, not like tiny little plants on the shelf. Or at least like if they're small, I at least want them to be like, obviously it's a cute plant, you know, like your Hoyas are like they're medium sized, but it's obviously an overflowing plant of some sort. So, but
like and like how they take up that whole top little half shelf, like that's kind of cool, you know?
That's cute. Like once they start trailing down, like that'll be really fun. But then there's just something about like, you know what I mean? Like a big leaf, half leaf. It's like, oh, you're supposed to be the stunner, but you're kind of an eyesore now. Like, what are you doing?
Is the other half of the leaf still on the floor?
Over there? Yeah. I accidentally stepped on it. I was like, cease. And I was like, oh no, it's just a crunchy leaf. So, yes. Anyways, let me read an Instagram one. This one just says, I don't like begonias.
Same. I got sucked into the Hoyas, but I don't think I can get into the begonias. They just don't. Well, I also think it's a tactile thing for me. The way they feel, the really textured ones.
Yeah, they can be a little goofy and very fuzzy.
It gives me the heebie-jeebies. And it's not even just that they're fuzzy. It's just that they're like literally textured and they're fuzzy. Where like my like squamacoli, that petiole, like grosses me out.
Especially when that thing starts to rot and gets icky, like the soft, like
it's sick,
mushy.
Because do you know how much of that? Because okay, so I've got a little tiny baby one, and I'll have to show you. We just got a new leaf on like the one that's bigger.
God. The small one with like the big petiole that it's growing off of, and it's just like ew.
It's gross. You should have saw it when I first opened that. That was last July.
I think you gave me a cutting of one, and it did not last me long.
It was
They're
sick.
Assholes.
I gotta show. It's hidden. You can't see it right now. But the one that's doing okay, it's actually kind of cute. But I don't like touching it. Ugh.
I think I did see it at one point, and I was like, oh my god.
No, it just popped out a huge new leaf, so we got to look at it again.
Okay.
Got to revisit that squammy.
Well, read us another one of yours.
Okay, so. Let's see. Okay, this is a confession. Oh, wait.
Every single time. Take a shot every time Brandon's like, oh, wait, no.
I forgot to delete it. Anyway, so it is a confession. I reuse my soil pretty frequently, even for different plants.
I've been known to do that. Like if I'm like, if I mixed up the soil myself or if it's coming from somewhere, someone I trust, I'm just like, oh, this is probably fine.
Oh, yeah, I would never reuse soil that I got from a store.
Yeah, I'm like, we don't know what's up in there. Remember when I found a worm?
But that's why there's an alocasia growing out of that Thai sunrise. Because I reused the soil and there was a corm in there.
It happens. It's just the beauty of plants. It happens. I do that a lot too. To actually go off of the one that we just talked about, I like Hoyas. I love begonias. I like Hoyas. I've never said that. I keep saying like, oh, the Hoyas are getting me. I'm getting more Hoyas, but I have never said the words. I like Hoyas. I do love begonias. I know.
Well, I will say I am starting to love Hoyas. Now that I have like a decent amount, I will say when it comes down to like the Hoya people, I don't have the attention to detail to be like, this one is different than this one.
All the ones we have are pretty different from each other.
Exactly. So like when you get to the rarer ones that are like, oh, the veining is 2 shades darker than the $15 version.
Yeah, people are spending X amount on like one single baby leaf, and it's very small, and sometimes they can take forever and ever and ever and ever.
I will say, I need one of those new guinea ghosts.
Hopefully they'll go down in price because they're very.
I have a couple people that I'm working on to try to get a trade.
These are people you're like flirting with in the DMs.
Some.
I was like, that's a long pause for you. You were like, maybe.
I guess my Instagram aesthetic really is whore.
No, I want you to put it in your bio, something to just piss him off.
I should start. Okay, so like I am a sexual person. I should do sexual favors for plants. That seems worth it to me.
I thought you were going to say you should start an OnlyFans. I was not expecting the like actual sexual favors for plants.
I could be the plant pimp, and then that could be my OnlyFans name.
What?
I mean, I think that's a pretty strong business model.
Plant pimp. I'm like, I don't even know what to think.
I see. I'll do anything not to pay for a plant.
Oh my god. Alrighty. But yeah, I have my first Hoya bloom ever right now.
Oh my god, you do. It's so cute.
And it's on my little Hoya serpens that I got from Carly. Hi, Carly. That I've gotten a lot of my beautiful plants from. I actually have some of my favorite plants are from Carly. Like I have my Thai from Carly, but my big Capria that I have is also from Carly.
Carly is an angel brought to this planet from the clouds.
All of my beautiful begonias that I love and that love me back are from Carly. All that fun stuff. So yeah, I was like, what's going on here? And I was like, wait, what? I did not believe that it was like going to be flowering for me. I'm like, oh, this will probably just give up.
How big is it? Like total?
Like the actual plant?
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you. Like the pot itself is actually like not even a 2-inch pot. It is tiny. It is so small.
We'll have to look at mine. I feel like there's potential for pedunkies down there.
Potential for pedunkies. No, literally. Like once you start giving them enough light, they're just like, okay, here I go. And it's also nuts because once, for some of them at least, I've noticed for people, once they start flowering, they like kind of keep going.
Mm-hmm.
That's nuts. But yeah, if I didn't say it before, it's on my little serpens, my Hoya serpens that I got just as a cutting, like a bunch of, like there's a bunch of them like together, and it's just in moss. But it's bringing me a lot of joy. I'm really excited to see like what it looks like. I haven't looked up a picture of like what the bloom looks like at all or what it smells like.
Oh, the surprise is going to be the best.
Yeah, we love a surprise. So I'm excited about that. And just to justify my begonias, I only own like a select few. They're pretty hardy begonias. There definitely are some that like require like that 100% humidity. They're really finicky about it. But there are some, like I think the Maculata, it's a little bit more easy going. Once I started giving them more light, they just explode. I really like how easy they are to propagate just in water. And then once you cut them, I really like how all of the nodes like all the way down will activate and they just grow more and more. So that's just kind of my justification for those. And yeah, I just like them right now because they're doing well for me. I go through like, oh my god, I hate this one.
I probably need to repot mine.
Yeah,
mine went through like a 5-node period where it just didn't grow any leaves. It's in the grow tents outside because it loves to be outside. It thrives in the outside.
Yeah, they love it. So if someone ever tells you that begonias are like low light tolerant, don't do that. No, and the
reason I think that mine stopped growing is. Okay, so I used to have 2 lights on the bottom shelf, and obviously the bottom shelf was shorter. And then when I just brought it down to 1 light, that's when it started declining.
It was like I was used to the other lighting. No thanks. But yeah, I just have a few angel wing varieties. I actually just added. Let me go into my wish list. Which, by the way, speaking of wish list, you guys. If you have an iPhone and like iPhone Notes app, you can actually add pictures into your Notes app. So I copied and pasted my wish list like below it, and now there's pictures of all of my wish list plants, in here. So kind of fun.
I need to do that with mine.
It's just nice because I actually did end up eliminating quite a few when I saw them and I saw the picture of it, and I was like, oh yeah, I actually don't want this.
Because that happened to me when I last checked mine. I was like, what are these? And I'd look them up and I'm like,
you just need to see them. So I really want the Begonia Breviremosa. I don't know, the one that's like that classic hot pink one. There's a few varieties of them. Some are more red or pink than others, but I want to give that a go. Pretty white flowers.
I really want the Begonia Darth Vader. Partially because it's Star Wars, partially because it's literally like black and lime green. So
Very
cool.
pretty. I thought it was more like gold on the outside.
It might be gold. I don't know. I've only seen pictures.
And then the begonia. This is a fancy one. The begonia Galaxy Guinea is like one of the more expensive ones. And I'm talking thousands, Brandon. Yeah, thousands. I'm like, y'all are out of your mind. But stunner. Beautiful pink, green, yellow, peachy splashes.
It's like what would make me pay $1,000 for a strawberry shake.
Yeah, it's like what strawberry shake wants to be, but in a begonia. Stunning. People auction these off quite a bit, pretty heavily. But then this one I just added, and it's the begonia dark angel. How pretty is that? It's just like kind of.
I like how the dots are in a line.
The dots are just a bit smaller than your normal maculata, and the leaves are a bit darker. So I think it's pretty stunning. I like that. So yeah, begonias are in my love book. Oh, by the way, I really want one of those anthuriums with the curly Q fluorescences.
Which one is that?
When Lingrii, whatever.
Yeah.
The strappy one that starts with a W. So anywho, that's that.
Did I order one of those? Was that one of the ones that I ordered
That would be cool.
or imported? I don't know. I know there's a
One of the strappy babies, like a pendants, maybe?
there's 3 strappy boys in there. Anyway, while I'm looking that up, you read one of our guests.
Let's see. Someone said, tissue culture is fantastic, and those who demonize it are just being plant snobs. I agree.
I do too.
I actually do very much agree. I get that sometimes tissue culture cannot go as planned. I mean, I know it can be, it's hard. It's not just like your basic propagation.
No.
So I guess some of them won't turn out as beautiful, and some of them won't even come out variegated like people are hoping. But I think it's a great thing. It's like a petri dish baby, but you're making more plants. And I think it's great for spreading plant joy and spreading plants to more people. I just don't like how people are still like charging so much for these tiny baby plants.
Because I will say, like the only downside I can see to it is sometimes the genomes get messed up and the plant doesn't necessarily look like the plant it came from. But I understand that that's a thing, and I'm not going to be like upset about that.
Yeah, I just wish people would also stop selling like clearly solid green plants and being like, oh, it'll probably variegate. No. If it's not clearly variegated after a couple leaves, it's just solid green. Like you probably have a solid green plant.
Yeah. And I do like when, I will say there are a couple of plant shops that I do check their inventory pretty frequently and get tempted. And a lot of them put fully reverted plants at the price that the non-variegated version would be. And I really respect that.
Nice. We love to see it. So yeah, tissue culture, I think it's great. You should keep doing it.
A lot of aquarium plants come tissue cultured. Actually, the dwarf baby tears, the one that has like the little glass piece on it, came, and I had to like pick off all the tissue culture goo.
Ooh, still fresh. Love it. Read one.
Oh, it's my turn.
It is your turn.
Oh, my data got breached today.
That's not
Found
good.
that out. I haven't looked at it yet. I don't know. My credit score is locked, or my credit's locked, so they can't do anything with it anyway. But anyway, let's go back to my notes app. Okay. So my next one is a hot take, and I personally think that people don't take the time to learn from their plants in general and in the influencer world.
Ooh, they're just like, oh, that one died. Moving on.
Yep. And then they just buy a new one and repeat the process.
Think about it, y'all. What happened? Plants want to live. So what went wrong?
This is the thing. I hated school. I mean, I was a good student up until college. Like, I know how to learn. I don't really know how to study, but that's an ADHD problem. But, like, I have not learned something since leaving school until I got super into plants. And I have learned more about plants than I have learned about any topic that I've been interested in.
Yeah.
Because I take the time to try to understand what's going on.
It's very important. There's something we can learn from every single plant death. oh, this isn't in my confession list, but like I guilty pleasure love reading negative reviews in the plant like discussion board.
I skip past those.
Okay, because you're scared they're going to be about you or something?
No, because I just
love
literally don't care.
Well, it's so great that you literally don't care, but I have no life, and I love, because here's the thing.
If I knew the person, then I would care a lot.
Oh yeah, sometimes it's juicy, and I do recognize
if you ever
people.
see someone that I would know, I mean, you know a lot more people and like remember a lot more people, but if it's someone that you know I would know, please send me it. Then that I live for that.
What ends up more often than not, I notice that someone posts a negative review, and it's either like someone's doing a negative review for a seller or for a buyer. It could be either or, but quite often they'll post and it doesn't go the way they think it will, and the people in the comments are not siding with the person who posted. And that's when it gets juicy, and quite often usually the comments get turned off after 2 hours in this group.
See, and I don't then I get to the point where all the comments have been deleted and I'm like, what's going on?
I can still see like all the comments, but it's annoying because then I can't add to the conversation. Oh, but this comment thread is still open, so let's see, should we live read this one? I feel like you guys would love it, don't you think? I'm not going to read who it's for, but it says, so for example, it says, purchased plant on February 24th, received plant on never. They never received their plant. Friendliness / customer service rating, 0 out of 5. Packing rating, 0 out of 5. Obviously, they didn't get their plant, so can't rate the packaging, right?
I feel like that should be an NA, technically.
Yeah. Cease just like woke up like,
what's going on?
La-di-da-di-da. And then it says like, were you compensated for your review? No. All screenshots included? Yes. Whatever. Proof of purchase? Yes. Okay. After filling out all this and that, oh my gosh, so much. Delete the whole template thing, y'all. I purchased this Syngonium from this person on February 24th. I asked him to hold it for a few weeks as my time zone is still cold. He agreed and said that it would not be a problem. He first attempted to add another plant to my order, which I declined. After several weeks of weather updates, we decided the weather looked okay on April 1st for shipping on April 4th. I did receive tracking then. On April 7th, I received a white princess cutting that was sent to me by mistake. He was clearly distraught about making this mistake and was clearly concerned about getting this plant to its original destination. I offered to repackage and ship this plant. He sent me $25 for the shipping.
Wait, to the person it was supposed to go to?
I guess. Like, can you imagine, like, one of your customers having to then mail a plant to the other customer?
I mean, I guess, like, maybe that would make sense, but it still is, like, mortifying.
Yeah, because, like, what if this person isn't a big plant person? Do they know what they're doing?
Yeah, because, I mean, I guess, like, shipping it back to you and then shipping it again, like, I guess that deletes a step, I suppose. I
eventually, so she offered to reship it, or I don't even know who I'm talking about. They sent me $25 for the shipping costs. I mailed this plan on April 8th, providing packaging and tracking photos. It did arrive at its destination. After taking care of this, I was promised not only the $20 pink Syngonium that I paid for, but an additional plant as a thank you. That's great.
Yeah.
Yay.
Reasonable.
On April 13th, I asked for an update on my order. No response. On April 14th, I asked for an update. No response. April 15th, update. No response. On the 17th, I noticed that this person had erased the photos in various parts of our conversation, which I thought was cause for concern because you can like unsend messages in Facebook, I guess. Like you can go in Facebook Messenger and like
Facebook Messenger, gives me more anxiety than anything on this planet.
So I guess you can go and like delete a bunch of messages, and sometimes people will be getting their screenshots as the person's deleting their messages, so they're like trying to get their screenshots at the same time. It's a whole thing. So anyways, cause for concern, obviously. So 2 days later, I finally receive a response. The seller, who has previously been kind and showed such concern for his mistake, showed himself to be something else entirely. He immediately attempted to accuse me of nastiness. It was clear he was becoming hostile. Therefore, I kept my comments minimal. He left several more rude comments and then blocked me and erased his nasty comments. However, because I had become concerned several days before, I had taken screenshots. People are good at their screenshots.
Did she take screenshots of her messages?
Yeah, usually, it's usually like the whole conversation that you see, but I haven't seen them yet because this is a long thread. I enjoy this plant community. I have bought several plants here, never a problem. But sellers like this person could potentially ruin it. My PayPal claim is stagnant as this person provided a fake tracking number. To date, I have received no plant and no refund. Blah, 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 blah. Buyer beware. So then that's when I'm like, okay, let's see what these comments are. Because I read that and I'm like, oh, I'm siding with you. But sometimes I'll check the comments and they're not siding with the person at all.
I will say the one thing that I have against her is like not waiting more than 24 hours to like wait 48. Like, girl, sometimes people are busy.
Sometimes people will be messaging like all day long. They're like, I messaged them that morning and then by that afternoon, they still had not responded to me. I'm like, oh God.
They're like, people got lives.
People do have lives. I agree. Let's see. So then I'm going to go check these comments. Actually, yeah, the person who left this, never mind. I was like, I recognize this name, but no, I don't. People seem to be siding with the person who made the post. They're like, wow, this is insane. Like, you sent the plant to the other person and they still ghosted you.
Literally. And that was probably worth more than what she bought.
Oh, yeah. There are quite a bit of screenshots. And I guess at the end, when he starts freaking out, he's like, lady, I've been at the hospital. You proclaiming that you assumed is a red flag. I've been in hell for the past week. Thank you very much. People always have a sob story coming back.
Yeah, if there's a sob story, chances are it's not true.
Oh my God, he said, you're rude and bossy for such a cheap plant. Oh. I'm like, honestly, here's the thing. Maybe another unpopular opinion, but you should probably be treating every plant transaction the same. I don't care how much it is. That plant should arrive packaged and like alive, regardless of if it's a $20 plant or a $200 plant. You know what I'm saying? You're listing it. You want it to arrive there or like alive, right? You don't want to be sending out another plant. It's like, why to be so mean? Like, clearly you don't appreciate your customers. You don't care. Weird. So, yeah, a little sidetrack. But, yeah, I really love reading through the negative reviews. It's just juicy. So, anyways, Brandon, read us one of yours.
Was that a guest one?
I don't know.
Or was that was you?
Well, read one of yours.
Okay. I only have 4 left. Oh, wait, nope. I already read that one. So I have 3 left. This is a hot take. I hate people who say that they can't handle indoor plants but have a thriving garden outside or are super good with outside plants. Because, in my opinion, unless you live in a dark cave, which I do, indoor plants are so much easier.
Yeah, you usually just need to set them and forget them. I feel like outdoor plants are hard because I have to be watering them
every day. Can you imagine? You wake up every morning, water my daffodils. No. Basil? Come on.
Literally, no, that's my plant that I've been having to water all the time is my outdoor basil.
Lavender. When you bought that lavender, I was like, oh, girl, I used to water. Me and my old roommate, we had one. It was beautiful on our back little porch. Twice a day. Water it in the morning and water it at night.
Thankfully, it's been like pretty decent because it was raining so damn much for a little bit. My plants were like loving it.
Well, it's supposed to rain for the next 6 days, so.
Oh, great. Well, you're going to miss it, so it'll be fine. Anyways, let me read another from the Instagram. This person said, plants are way more resilient than people think. Stop babying them. I think that's what we just went through, right?
Amen, baby.
Y'all can take care of a plant. It's not that hard. And this other person said, you don't need a strict routine for your plants. I've gone weeks without watering and they're okay.
I agree.
Yeah. A lot of people realize when they leave and go on vacation and come back, they're like, oh, I don't need to be checking on you every day. You're okay? Okay. They want to live without us.
I will say, because I have been so incredibly busy lately, like, all of a sudden I'll be like, I watered you guys a couple days ago, but really it's been like 9 days. And I'm like, shit.
Oops.
I did it again.
I can definitely.
These plants are crusty.
They are.
There's so many yellow leaves. Also, do you notice that tie leaf right there? Do you see that? How rude.
Oh, it's yellowing for you?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Although it's putting out a new leaf, but
ties do be slow.
Slow as hell.
Soil, slow. Let me read one of mine. Going in here. I almost never sanitize my propagation shears.
Damn it, you stole one of mine.
That's one of yours?
Yes, that was my last confession, I think. Yes, I don't clean my clippers / scissors between plants.
I like how you're like mad and not just
Who's
like, oh my
got
God,
the time?
Literally, who has the time?
I will only do it if, like, when I chop the tie. I'm like, I'm not going to risk this. I paid a lot of money for this plant.
If it's something where I'm like, if this rots, I'm going to lose my mind. But usually I'm just cutting shit left and right.
Literally, I'm like, boop, 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 down the shelf I go.
I actually did today because I realized that we had like some isopropyl alcohol in Izzy's office. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I could use this. So stinky. And I put it in my spray bottle. I'm like, watch, I'm going to forget this is in here and I'm going to start spraying my plants like with the alcohol. That'll be great.
Kill all the mealies.
I'm like, maybe I need like a separate bottle that's just for that.
I have, well, no, do you know what I fucking did?
Uh-oh.
I have 2 spray bottles. One that says Bachman's. It has Bachman's logo on it. It's huge. Mm-hmm. It's my distilled water with a little bit of Super Thrive in it. It's for my moss, right?
Okay.
And like my plants that like, you know, like they don't have much soil. I can just spray it into the soil. Boom, 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 whatever. Well, then I have one that has Azamax in it. Super strong, fucking concentrated Azamax. And I said, oh, God, this plant is so dry and crusty. I don't remember what one it was. It might have been my begonia. And I said, I'll just open up this Bachman's bottle and dump the water in because it's just water and Super Thrive. It was the Azamax.
Uh-oh.
And then I realized an hour later, and I was like, God fucking damn it. And I started flushing it in the sink.
Great.
So I need to like write. Okay, so at the Maple Grove Planet Fitness.
Okay. Where are we going with this now?
They have a big Gatorade container full of cleaning thing. And it says, not Gatorade. Do not drink. This is not water. Not Gatorade. Like all over it. And I was like, this is so stupid. Who would need this? Me. Apparently I need that.
That was for you. Oh my God. I feel that. Do you actually have another then? Like, do you have any left now?
I have one more total.
Okay. I think I have
and this is one I don't think you're going to agree with.
Well, let's leave that one for last because I actually have 3 more.
Okay.
And we have some more to read off of here. Keeping stuff in a grow tent. Keeping stuff in a grow tent you can't see is a total waste. Is a total ugly waste of plants.
I agree, even though I do it, but it's more so out of necessity.
Yeah, those are the plants that I'm usually probably going to sell or like trade or whatever. Like they're probably not my personal collection plants that are in my grow tent.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep them separate. And also, just for those who care, which we probably don't, but my plants in the grow tent are not eligible for plant of the week.
Oh.
They're not eligible.
That's interesting. That's a good boundary.
Yeah, because like obviously they're all thriving in there. Like it's just not fair to the other
my
plants
grow
that are out
tent,
here trying
I think
to do it.
because my light is so big and then the tent is so small that it's a toss up. You never know if it's gonna be good or bad in there.
It's a toss up.
Just so you know, when you're taking care of my plants for 2 weeks. So.
And I'm like, Brandon, half your plants are dying. And you're like, oh no. Maybe I'm gonna have to do a video of rating my friends' plants since I've been begging you to do that to somebody. I'm just gonna have to do it to you while you're gone.
Oh my God, that'd be so funny. Do it.
Do it rating Brandon's plants. Maybe I will if I remember. I'm gonna be too stressed out for all this shit that I'm gonna have to do.
It's not that bad.
My other one is we actually kind of touched on this earlier, but and you know this, I think, but none of my cabinets actually have humidifiers or fans. They're just doing their thing. They're doing the greenhouse effect.
The fan part gives me anxiety, but the humidifiers, like, well, yours aren't super weatherproof. Like, you know, my big one it's 99% humidity, no humidifier.
Yeah, my doors don't shut because I also don't have a hole for them to go out the back. So the cord's coming out the front, so the doors literally don't shut. The only thing that's really getting algae are like some of my moss plants and then a couple of my pond plants that are in the cabinet. Just the stagnant humidity of it all. But I do open my cabinet doors like daily, airing them out and whatnot because I'm nosy and I'm all up in their faces like, hey, what are you doing? New leaf? No? Okay. And then it kind of go like I have the little temperature things in there now and the humidity gauge. So if I keep it shut in there for a while, like a day or so, to get up to 80. So I think that's fine. 80% humidity, and then usually in the 70s.
What does that one say? 93%?
I don't know. I think so. Jesus. And I literally just opened.
And then that one's 80. Well, that one's 84, and that one has a humidifier in it. That the Redsta does not stay. But the Millsbow is so, it stays so humid that it's rusting from the inside out and dripping on the floor.
Yeah, it is.
I have that towel that's sitting right there is to catch the rusty water. Rusty spoons.
Salad fingers like traumatized me.
Same.
I still have 2 more, but you should do your last one.
No? Okay. You do one.
I'll do one, and then you do one. I'll do my last one.
Well, we got other people's to read, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, you just did one.
Yeah, I did.
So do someone else's.
Jesus Christ, so bossy. Pushy greenhouse workers bother me. Don't follow me like a shadow when I'm walking around.
I don't think that's ever happened to me.
Me neither. I don't think they're up in my face. I guess it might be a little bit different if you're in a boutique and it's like a small little plant shop and it's like just you and you're like, like, okay, I wasn't with you, but maybe I think I was with Suzanne. But when I went to Sprout Home, like Sprout in Chicago, extremely uncomfortable.
Oh, they wouldn't. That's the only place it's ever happened to me.
Yeah. I was really like, this is weird. I don't like the vibe. And we were both like, yeah. And also, okay, so it's like still during like heavy COVID kind of.
You had to like make an appointment.
We didn't have to make an appointment, but we did have to wait outside in a line, like so they could count the people coming in and out. And the person who was like manning the line, not nice at all. And I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not looking for someone to be super over the top bubbly to me. If you don't talk to me at all, it's fine. But when you go out of your way to actually be an asshole, I'm going to remember. And I'm going to be uncomfortable. And you're going to maybe make me cry. So, yeah, I was uncomfy at all.
Okay, I'm not going to lie. That's the most uncomfortable experience I've ever had in a plant shop was at Sprout. Because we had to make an appointment. It was the middle of winter, so we were like sitting outside in the freezing cold, had to get let in, and then like they only allowed 2 people in at a time, and you'd like they're like, you have 30 minutes. I mean, we weren't there for 30 minutes, but like
yeah, it's like you gotta run. And plus, like the shop isn't like that small. It's like a decent sized shop.
And then they wouldn't stop leaving. There were like 12 employees. I'm like, why do there need to be 12 employees right now when you only allow 2 people into the store? Oh, it's because you have so many employees that you can't allow more people in. Anyway, and you had to like, and they were like very strict about the path you follow. And so we just kept doing like a loop-de-loop. And then I didn't know what to do at the end because I didn't want to buy anything. There was nothing nothing that like
out of this
really piqued my interest. And I was having a panic attack. And my friend Leah, who I was with, I was like, Leah, I gotta get out of here because the doors were all locked. You couldn't leave unless they unlocked the door.
That's so weird. Okay, so like the weather was nice out, so when I was there, so the doors are actually propped open.
It wasn't even like you could like push the door open. You know, it's like a push and it unlocks. No, it was like lock. And I was like, Leah, you need to talk to an employee and let us out. I'm getting real claustrophobic.
Oh my god, yeah, I love how like we could both think of like an uncomfy experience and it's not the exact same place.
And I understand where it was coming from. I like for a neurotypical person, it probably would have been fine. For me, absolutely not. That was my worst nightmare experience.
Yeah, it was even when I was there and the procedures were a lot different, it was still not a vibe. Like it was a cute shop.
Not a vibe.
Not a vibe at all. It was a nice area. It was a nice. It was
super
shop.
cute. Did you go to the decor store across the street? That I really enjoyed. The decor store was really cool. There were only 2 employees and you didn't get locked in.
They had a really nice like terrarium like wall thing in there, and I don't know. They just like had a lot of fun stuff. Like, but also the plants were really expensive. Like,
yeah, it was cool, but yeah, it was just like and like. I get it. They're like a New York City boutique, and then they came to Chicago, so it makes sense, the prices. But
yeah, it was like the other, and you know what I mean? I'm not even from Chicago, but I've been enough to the stores there. They feel more like neighborhoody. They feel more family owned, just a little bit more, I don't know, approachable.
the plant shops there are way cheaper than anywhere here.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is the one reason that I'm kind of sad that me and my ex broke up, is that I won't have a reason to go to Chicago as much and visit the plant shops.
I do. I want to go there so bad.
Well,
and then
I know, but
we have friends that want to meet up with us there too.
But like, you know, like I had like a built-in reason where I had to go like once a month, you know.
It's called an obligation. Yeah. It sounds like a chore. Also.
I mean, it was a chore.
This man didn't have a car, so can we take a vow of like no more partners without vehicles?
Yeah,
please.
That's a deal breaker.
Not to be a classless bitch, but like you're not going to be driving people around, especially if they live that far away.
I can't do it anymore.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see. Every greenhouse has pests. Period.
Amen, baby.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to keep them at bay.
It gives me anxiety anytime I brush across a plant. Like, especially when there's like big ferns hanging, it like gets in my hair. I'm like, I've got spider mites in my hair now.
Let's see. We still have a couple more like of the other people's.
Yeah, just rapid fire.
Okay, succulents are easy AF to kill.
Agreed. They're the worst. They're hard to keep alive.
I know first.
And if you can keep them alive really well, or if you keep them alive, they usually don't look good.
Miracle-Gro perlite, cheap yet bad, all at once. Yet it's what I use because it's what's available.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I will say, like, now that I've been exposed to mother perlite,
I like the chunky perlite.
That bag is $40 on Amazon, and it's humongous. I made probably what's like 4 of those how much? 25-gallon buckets, those bins, probably 25 gallons. 4 of them, only used half, and it was half perlite.
You still have more of it?
The bag is only half empty.
Oh, I need some. I ran out.
$40, and it's going to last you that long, and it's going to be that high quality.
Plus, you mix up a lot. These people aren't even mixing up that much.
Oh yeah, I made a video about it. It's one of my 12 videos that are going to show up, so you guys will see it soon.
Brandon's going to spam you guys soon. Let me see. I hate repotting. Mud gets everywhere, and the plant gets stressed.
I don't like repotting either.
It's a pain in the butt, but I kind of just like do it really fast.
I mean, I enjoy it.
I think I used to overthink it a lot. Like I was like, oh my God, it's a whole thing.
Now you're gonna be able to just sit outside and repot in the grass. Your life is gonna change.
I'm probably not going to. I don't like being outside, Brandon. You've already been how often, besides to go pet my outdoor cat, when have I been going outside?
It's just repotting when you don't have to worry about cleaning up after. It's magical. I think
then it's so much work that I'm going to bring all my supplies outside. Usually I'm only repotting one little plant, and that doesn't seem worth it to me.
Okay, well, wait until you have like a big group and just like
it's a lot of work.
Carry them outside. I think your life will be changed. It seems like a lot. It seems like a big change, but I think you'll really enjoy it.
At my mom's, I would just go repot out back because she didn't like the dirt everywhere. But now I just live with it. I'm like, it's okay. Dirt's fine. Okay. I think that's pretty much everything. Someone said fiddly figs are ugly AF. Never going to buy one since they're also divas.
I don't disagree. The only reason I got one is because it was super small, and now it's like a foot tall.
It's doing pretty all right.
Although that big leaf that it had when I first got it is starting to die off.
I don't have any ficus, right? Not a single ficus. Not one variety of ficus, okay? Which I know you're probably like, wait, what? Because you have several.
Well, I mean, I know you don't have any, but I was trying to think of how many I have. I think I just have 3.
David's sending me one from one of his plants, a little cutting from his. So I will have a ficus, and it will be from David down in Florida.
Is he giving you a triangularis?
No, I think might be the Audrey. Just a little basic baby, but ficus Audrey. Maybe. Or maybe it's the other one that looks kind of like it. Anyways, so I'm not a big ficus person, but it's because they don't look like they need water until they're like dying, and yeah.
And they need water more than aeroids do.
Yeah, and I'm like, I can't do that. I can barely keep my pings watered. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so I'm going to say mine. my second to last one, and then you're going to say your last one, and I'll say my last one. Okay.
Are you saving the best for last?
I guess it's kind of juicy. Like, I don't think I've ever told it. Maybe I've talked about this. I don't even know. But anyways, second to last one, kind of plant related. And I think we've talked about this like on our own together before, but planty wise, I think I'll actually die or choose to die if I have to grow my own food and live off of like just plant.
Yes, we did just recently talk about this.
And if I have to live off the land and like grow, which I can grow plants, but if I have to grow all of my produce and all my own food, I think you should just shoot me in the forehead. Like
that would take any joy out of plants that I've ever had.
I know some people love it. They love to grow their own food. It's like it's something they think about all winter long. They're planting their garden. Oh no, honey.
First of all, I don't like vegetables or fruit that much.
Yeah, that's the big part for me too. I'm like, if I have to live off of vegetables and fruit, what will I eat? What will I do? Here's the thing: if the supply chain crashes, I mean, we're already living in late stage capitalism. We're on our way there. We've already seen the effects, right, through the pandemic and everything. If I have to live without junk food and processed foods, I know I'm like people. I don't like processed food. I do. I've been living off it.
I can't even remember the last time I had McDonald's.
I've been living off. I have to stand up because I'm serious. I've been living off it enough to. That is all I know. That is all I know what to eat. I started eating kid cuisines. Do you even know what's in a kid cuisine?
God,
Probably no real food.
Cuisines.
You know, like. I eat rice-a-roni all the time. I'm sorry, anyone who's trying to buy the cups of the cheddar, the 4 cheese. I clear the whole shelf off. I try to leave some, but I could eat. That's one of my safe foods that I could eat multiple a day of. So it's just one of those things. So I don't know what I would do without. I know people are going to cringe. The instant mashed potatoes, those stupid powdery mashed potatoes. They're so damn good. They're so good, and I'm not even mad about it. It's like, God bless instant mashed potatoes. God bless. I'm processed and I'm proud.
I mean, literally, I was like, Nicole, like,
Little Debbie's my bitch.
I'm going to go home from the store and then I'm going to cook a nice dinner. And then she literally walks in the door and I'm shoveling McDonald's fries down
I was mainly mad you didn't give me any.
You said you ate.
Yeah, I ate Subway.
Eat fresh.
Literally, I was and 3 cookies and all. It was good. You know, sometimes the Subway cookies disappoint and then they're like burnt and it's like, these are supposed to be like half done. Oh, they weren't even half done. They're like raw. It was so good. They were like raw cookies. Very chocolatey, very good. Love me some Subway. But yeah. So that's my second to last plant confession. If I had to grow my own plants and live off of them.
I mean, I think people will think that's saucy. Do I think that's saucy? No, because I love sauce. And you don't grow sauce. You buy it from Heinz.
You think I would here's the thing. I've never once had a homemade ketchup that I like because guess what? All I know is Heinz. All I know is sugar ketchup.
And fun fact, Heinz
isn't even fancy ketchup.
They had to take fancy off the label.
Yeah, that's all I know is the sugar. Like, even when they have the sugar-free, like Heinz, no, get that out of here. The sugary ketchup that doesn't even taste like actual ketchup. I remember the first time I went to a fancy restaurant, it was Hell's Kitchen, which isn't even very fancy, right? They had like homemade ketchup. It is the consistency. It's of like applesauce.
Thick. Yeah.
It is the consistency of applesauce. That's not right. That's not right. Like salsa. What the heck? That is so not okay. Okay, read your second to last one.
And those are my last one. You're finishing this off strong. Okay, so this is a hot take.
Oh yeah, this is the one I might not agree with. I'm scared. I'm gonna look away.
I actually do think the Spirit of Sanctity is a beautiful plant, and I could be convinced to pay upwards of maybe $500 for it.
Maybe $500, but like for a good size one, not like a baby,
not like
right?
a seedling.
Yeah, I'm like, because I like a strappy plant. I'm attracted to that type of plant, but I just don't understand why that one specifically is so damn much money. You know, it's like what? It's very basic. But yeah.
And I guess this is partly off of that. I understand why some plants are expensive. Like I get why that was expensive like 10 years ago.
Kind of like how the oblique now is just old
like,
news. Old news.
Like they legitimately were plants that there weren't that many of. Makes sense. Like I could understand like a plant that was super hard to propagate and didn't grow. Like, yeah, that's a collector's item that's hard to get a hold of that isn't readily reproducible. So I can understand why there would be super expensive plants, but I don't think any of the plants that are expensive right now are expensive for that reason.
Yeah. Do you think that there's any plant that, well, I guess maybe I could think of some, but I don't know. Do you think that there's any plant that now you look back on and you're cringing that you spent so much on it because it's dropped a lot in price?
Yes, but not that I spent like a ton of money. Like, for example, the first Milano Chrysum I got, it was a 2-leaf little baby cutting and I paid $90 for it.
Oh, damn.
I did buy it from someone who I do really like and appreciate and wanted to support. Mm-hmm. But would I pay $90 for what I paid for? Absolutely not.
I feel you.
But for the most part, I don't spend a lot of money on plants. The only one that I've spent a lot on was the Thai, which was $475. But
it's really funny though because like I spend a lot of, I feel like we're opposite because I've spent a lot of money on like plant stuff, but it is pulling teeth trying to get me to spend money on anything else. Anything related to plants that I like need for my plants, like that's extra. You're like, oh, I need to get this and this and that for my plants, and you get it right away. And I'm just like, no, I don't need that. I spent enough on the plants. I can't spend all this extra money on it. You know what I'm saying? That's why we're a little bit different with it.
But I love things. I am very materialistic. Like as much as I love plants, I also like things.
Yeah, you like your little bells and whistles and your accessories.
But I don't buy like generally a lot of expensive things. I mean, okay, we're literally sitting here with like $1,000 podcast setup, but that is besides the point. That was a business investment.
Are you ready for my last one?
Yes, I'm so excited.
You might already know this one, but I don't know.
The thing is, like, we're like up each other's asses so much it'd be hard to like truly shock me.
Yeah, we talk every day all the time and about random stuff. Like I know stuff about Brandon, he's knows stuff about me that we totally don't even need to know, but we have to fill the silence somehow. So some stuff just comes out. Anyways, I myself, it's not something I share with anyone, but I have my own personal buyer beware list.
You haven't told me this.
I have my own list that I keep track of. People that I do not, because it's hard to keep track of all these crazy people.
Are they people that you have interacted with? Or are they people that you see who you're like, I could see myself interacting with them in the future?
Let me look at the list because I don't know if I've actually bought from any of these people. I think they're people that I don't want to buy from. Yeah, I've not bought from any of these people. There's only 5 people on this list, so it's
see,
not
here
an
I was thinking
list.
It was a full burn book.
No, it's like, and I might even. I'm here's the thing. Look, I'm serious, and I like my lists, and I think it's an autistic thing.
You do really love lists.
It's actually really. I need to get it like out of my head.
Nicole makes lists for me and then shares them with me.
Yeah, it's getting bad. I like a list. It's my mom's fault. If you're listening to this, Mom, you know damn well. Mom, maybe you should get tested. Anyways. I've been thinking about it. I know you too. You've been thinking about who gave me this. Anyways.
Well, me and Lisa think it's my dad, so.
That's not what you thought, but okay. So I have just 5 people on this list. 2 of them are related to each other. So I'm like, okay, if you're not going to buy from this person, you also can't buy from this person's brother who also has... I mean, and all 5 of these people have a slew of negative reviews, so it's not just me being a bitch.
Do I know any of that? Like, if I looked at this list?
Yeah, the name should ring a bell. These names.
Okay, let's see. Yep, okay. Yep. I don't know who that one is.
Those last 2 guys are brothers.
Last 2, I don't know who they are.
And it's suspicious why they have so many different aliases that they go under, but anyways... I have to, you know what I mean? I write down all of the names, all the names that they go by.
It's like a super villain list.
Yeah, you need to have because here's the thing, because I love my list, I might actually add pictures to this and then like...
Start documenting it and then you'll post a giant tell-all Reddit thread.
I'm not kidding. That's why I have to, because you know what I mean? I have to document things for just in case if I'm like, Yeah, I have them all right here. So I might make a whole web of like, this person's connected to this person, and like, because these two people are friends and they support each other, you can't buy from either of them. So X them out. I'm serious, because there's still more people I could add to this list that are friends with these people. Because here's the thing, like, we try and not interact with people and associate with people that we don't agree with and like, right? Mm-hmm. So I feel like the seller should be the same. If you are clearly and publicly interacting with a seller that I don't like, I probably I'm not going to buy from you then, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Just personally. But yeah, that's kind of all we got, I think.
I think so. Those were our hot takes.
Hopefully it was juicy enough. Maybe y'all are just like, okay, and whatever. But
I think
I learned some stuff about you.
Yeah.
Maybe you learned some from me. I don't know. But it was pretty juicy nonetheless. And
that was fun. That was Nicole literally came up with this idea last week, and I was like, that is the best idea you have ever had.
I think I had started thinking of them, and I was like, we need to do this, and because I just wanted to be able to say them to each other, because it's fun and juicy.
We could probably do a part 2 in the near future.
Yeah, we could probably think of more. You know, maybe we need to reconvene like a yearly on this, you know, at least.
I think so.
Alrighty, and then maybe by then I'll just be dropping these names left and right. Who knows where we'll be by then?
You never know.
Oh my gosh, your humidifier's going crazy now.
Nope, apparently I didn't turn the setting down. Look at that.
Oh my gosh, it's like, it looks like a fog machine. Spooky. Okay, Brandon, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Brandon Botanical on
Which, by the way, you guys need to go follow Brandon.
Instagram,
some more followers,
TikTok, and YouTube. And people have been, not that I've been blowing up by any means, but like more so than I ever have been. I haven't put out a video in months. So bad.
Following your YouTube more?
It's weird. Anyway, thank you guys for following me on YouTube. But you can also find my plant shop, monsterplant.co website and Instagram. You can also find us at Where Are We Growing on Instagram, or wherearewegrowing.com is our website. And definitely go to Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star review. I will see if there is a new one. Actually, there is. So while Nicole is telling us all about where she is found on the interwebs, I will go look that up. And also give us a quick 5-star review on Spotify, because all you have to do is click the 5-star and then press confirm.
I love that your YouTube says welcome back to Plant Talk or Plant Tube. Question mark. It says it right below your face right there. I can see it on your page. Well, you guys can find me on Instagram and Tickety Talkety at Nicole Larson Grows. I think that's all I'm doing for now. Don't find me on Facebook, because if you friend me on there, I'm probably not going to friend you back.
I was honestly surprised that you added me back.
What?
No, I just...
What did this person say?
Okay, so I actually know who this is from. This is from my dear friend Kaisa, who I used to work with back in college. We've been like catching up on Planty stuff lately, and she was gushing about the podcast, and I just think it's so cute. So it says, the title is Love, and it says, I finally have the space to let my plant interests expand, and it has been so helpful to hear the advice and guidance from you two. Also, I went to college / work with Brandon as an intern, and I love him so much, and it is great to hear him chat about plants and such. I've enjoyed getting to know Nicole through this pod. Highly recommend. 5 stars.
Cute.
Oh, thank you so much. What?
Why do you always do this? I thought it was Cece.
I thought it was too. I don't know. My feet weren't even close to it. But now I don't know what the outro music is.
I think it's that one.
Is it this one?
Yeah.
Bing bong.
Nope, it's not. Okay. So anyway, thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate you. We hope you enjoyed our hot takes and confessions. Cease, what's your confession? She doesn't have a confession.
I can hear her purring though.
Okay, there we go. Anyway.
Have a good rest of your week, y'all.
And we will see you next week.
We will indeed.
Bye. Bye.